site that was turned into a marshland and flooded every year by the government ever since they took it over and hid it. And, this gets into something where we got to talk about it. I got to show it. I know we're going on, like 3 hours now, but there's something that I think, there's something everybody needs to see, which is, I'll bring it back over here. You're talking about geoglyphs and shapes and plates. And we get into this shape here again, here in the Midwest, which is the giant StarForts shape. And in Missouri, zooming in down here on the, I hate to keep, beating a dead horse on this, but the Geospatial Agency built in the middle of the StarFort here in St. Louis. Now, this StarFort in St. Louis is marked here on the map. This is where the Geospatial Agency is being built right now. This is a map from 1796. Now, the water flows out and it goes down to the river. This is fresh water, obviously, flowing out and going over this is cliffs. I live here in St. Louis. These are cliffs that go up. There's a bluffs, if you will. And they got the waterfall drawn.
Sorry, I got to also point out that battery right there on the left, on the other side of the cliff, on the other side there. There you go. The battery StarForts, that's that same battery shape. You're going to find them everywhere, and it's the identical battery that the entire wall of StarForts that we showed earlier is made out of. And how is it over here in St. Louis in the 1600s, and then also a full wall of hundreds of them running thousands of kilometers across all of Eurasia?
I wonder if they're attached through an aquifer of some way, shape, or form.
Well, look what it is. Look what's at the tip of this now. Up here at the tip of this now is the St. Louis Water Tower. And so let me bring it in and show you. It's a giant old Tartarian Corinthian column made of brick that's huge. Look at it.
Right?
Okay, this is the water. This is the water. Yeah, and water tower at the tip of this. Oh, whoa, my Google
point Earth for point where that water starts here you're showing is literally where the area of where that water tower currently is. And I think you said there was 3 or 4 of the water towers in that area originally. And
there's 2 huge ones and then a third one that they've built. And all 3 are at the pinnacle tip of it. My Google Earth just crashed while I was trying to show you. I'll zoom back in on it again. Here we are in St. Louis. They have the Geospatial Agency being built in the center of this one. This was not disclosed to the public. They've hidden this. I had to find this myself and make everyone, including anthropologists here in the St. Louis region, aware of this. They built the X marks the spot housing project in the middle of it. And at the very tip of it is the water tower side by side.
That X right in the middle. And then
that water tower, the white one, looks really similar to the one that you find in Chicago, the World's Fair.
Yeah, the one there.
Yeah. And then look at this one.
Yeah, identical, pretty much. And sorry, I got to point out, Dutch was showing...
This one has spots to shoot out of.
How is a water tower supposed to have spots to shoot out of? That makes zero sense whatsoever.
This gets into, again, my Google Earth just crashed again as I was trying to show it to you. That's twice now. Okay, so I'm going to get to this. I have to show it to you. They built something down along the river where this fresh water flows to, and it ties in with what they're doing with the rest of these forts around the world. They built a sewage plant to take all the sewage and trash. So here is the StarFort, and right over here, here's the fresh water coming out, and here's our sewage treatment plant right here.
Do you mind zooming in on that X building? Like the X marks the spot. Is that an old world possible, like Tartarian-esque, or was that a new rebuild of it? And
they built this in the 60s. They came in and built a housing project here. And now they refurbished the outside of it to make it look nice.
Remarked it, and then now they're repurposing, still using whatever energy thing that is with that geospatial thing there, right there in the center too. And that you showed also that there's all the military forts in all of these spots, and that Facebook data center, and now also this freaking geospatial unit.
And they built a school at the very pinnacle tip of it that's been abandoned, and it's for sale. You guys want to buy it?
Yeah,
we should all pitch our money in, buy this place, and turn it into the School of Geophysics Studies of Tartarian Starforts right next to the Geospatial Agency, it would be a slap in their face.
And
that
free energy, electrical engineering
Right there.
community.
That's
Water
where the school is right there.
purifying. Yeah,
Absolutely.
All these are dumps. These are all dumps that they built along here. So trash, recycling, turds, everything. Then, get this. An earthquake struck out on the West Coast last month out here in San Francisco. And it was a rare 5.0 in San Fran directly. And they downgraded it, whatever, but it shook up everybody. And I zoomed in on the earthquake epicenter. Let me show you. Actually, a picture speaks 1,000 words because I just showed you the trash dumps there, and this matters. So an earthquake strikes here, and I zoom in, and I zoom in some more. I'm going to turn off the place mark now just so you can see. This place is where the earthquake struck. And it doesn't look like much at first, but then I zoomed in some more, and I said, whoa, wait, there's a satellite array in the middle of there. That must be why the earthquake hit there. Satellites at the center of this little valley. And I thought, what is this? And I turned on the place marks, and it's a trash dump. It's a recycling center. Now, hold on. Look at what
and
this
look at
is.
that cliff. That's like a natural speaker.
Hold on.
You got it, Campbell.
This is a StarFort. Now, let me get a StarFort picture open. There's our classic StarFort shape, and it's here. And they built houses on one side and a satellite array and a trash dump in the middle. But now that you know to look for it, there it is.
Yeah.
It's there. It really is there. I measured it. It's perfect. It's the StarFort on all sides, 250 feet going down, and it's 250 feet high. They built a satellite array.
The beautiful metaphor for shitting on our history.
Yeah, they are. They're literally shitting on the history. And that is in the hills itself. I can bring it in an angle to show it to you. It really is there. It's an old bastion fort that's been carved out on one side. They put a satellite array and a recycling center in the middle of it, and an earthquake struck below it, which is how I found it. And there it is.
Right, and how many of these sites that you discovered because of the earthquakes? That's the only reason you found so many of them. And that how many in a row do you need for it to be like, okay, this is absolute mathematical facts now. This is a system, a grid. It's undeniable. It's not pareidolia or coincidence. And welcome, Eric Hecker. Oh, did we lose Hecker?
He just. And I have to go. Literally, I'm dying very fast.
Yeah,
here.
for much love.
12:30, midnight.
We will let you go to sleep.
Nice to meet you, Dutch. Nice to meet you, Gerald. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome night, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Well, Brother Campbell. And I believe Eric will be right back. Eric's my friend, good guy that spent a year working at the South Pole, and that you had a couple of questions or things you would like to discuss with there, Michael.
Oh, all definitely. Right. The South Pole, my goodness. We got to talk about the earthquakes and the lack of reporting of earthquakes from down at the South Pole.
But first, I guess, please finish the last aspects of the StarForts in St. Louis, and that I know there's a whole nother part that I keep interrupting you on that you really want to get out. So, but it's connecting to it because there's the water tower, that original source of water in St. Louis that you see in that diamond shape of it. That was the original water moat or area of it that you see in the old photo, but that's supplying that water that's then running down into the river. And notice that shape there. And once again, how many coincidences do you need of geometry?
No such thing as coincidence.
Oh, exactly. The flowing water, and then right across the river, directly across, is the Kokia Mounds. So
please share your screen again, Mike, because
yeah.
When I interrupted you.
Oh, you're fine. Let me get a display capture turned on. There we go. And over here in St. Louis, directly across the river from this giant StarFort, right here, here's the Geospatial Agency. Here's the outline in the road still. But we go right over here. Here's our racetrack and the Kokia Mounds. And let me turn on all our borders and labels and all that good stuff. And here's the Cahokia Mound State Historic Site, with all its big mounds, and they built train tracks and electrical lines right through the side of them. And the train tracks and electrical lines go down to the riverfront, where we go right to the St. Louis Arch. And the St. Louis Arch is built on layers. In case you didn't know, it's built on a layer of coal at the bottom, just like the mounds that I showed you at the start of the update. And then on top of that, clay, and on top of that, red clay, like what Paul's showing you over in the UK.
Everywhere, pretty much.
Is the St. Louis Arch metal? Is it conductive?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, the St. Louis Arch is was built by a guy named Cyril White. He was the designer of it. And if you look up Cyril White, his side project, the thing that he was really interested during World War II was weather modification. And so he designed the arch to actually be a full ring, and we only see half of it. And the other half, he said, foundationally, goes down into the ground and makes it a full ring instead of an arch. And then across the river, they just built this. They expanded the Gateway Arch Memorial to have the pool. Now, the pool and the phallus are something we should talk about at a separate time. You'll see it in Washington, D.C. You'll see the obelisk, which is shown an obelisk representing the phallus, and then right next to it, a pool of flowing water. And usually the pool of flowing water has suds and everything coming out of it. And they do that on purpose. That's kind of an occult thing going on there. But it has to do with geometry and flowing of frequency and stuff. It's not occult.
It's a massive antenna array as well, those the monoliths in those spots.
Not to mention the moving water just through electrostatics creates
charging it particular way.
Yeah.
And look where the river used to go. Right. The river used to go, it was directed over right next to the mounds. And we have closed that off. And the StarFort used to flow fresh water down into the Mississippi. Now we put turds into it. Now, you mentioned the quarries. On the north side of here is Fort Bellefontaine. Belle meaning good, Fontaine meaning fountain. Fort Good Fountain was here. But instead, they've done this. I don't know if you see it on the screen. They've quarried it out.
Right? So quarried again. Boom. Look at that, how big it's going. And it's like you'll literally find that and deep down into the ground, like it's indented, inverted deep, like a strip mine quarry at that point at most of these. And you'll see them all over the place where in the old maps of the old world were these bigger star forts and citadel star fort cities and places that were built up several stories, and now it's going several stories down into the ground, and they've reused all of that stone to build the modern world.
On the screen, you see this on the screen here. This is my house. I've already been doxxed, so it doesn't matter. Here's my house. There's my kayaks down at the lake. Now, right over the hill, I found this. Now, I'm going to compare this to this. And what you're going to see is that this goes back to that, and it's another giant star fort right here next to my house, 2 miles away. Now, this has been hidden. I had to find this myself. I made anthropologists aware of this at University of Washington, Washington University here in St. Louis and St. Louis University 3 weeks ago when I made my video on this. Now, on the front end of this, at the very tip of this, right down here, is a radio tower. Okay? They put a radio tower and cell phone tower, big microwave tower. We have power line that goes right through the middle of it, and on the back side of it, another quarry. Now, this is confirmed there. This isn't pareidolia. This matches this one in St. Louis. This one's in North St. Louis, exactly 40 miles down to the foot to the east, due east.
Wow.
So, one more time. 40 miles due east of here, we'll just go over, and we're at the StarFort over in St. Louis. So this one is an ancient one. This is 8 miles long. Now, guess what comes out? This starts at 800 feet. We're up here at 840 feet above sea level, and then we go down, 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 down to the river, the old Missouri River. Now, here's the one in St. Louis. I'll turn it back so it's proper oriented as it was made. So the one in St. Louis flows down, starts about 800 feet above sea level and floats down to the river. The one I found over here by my house, this was built, guys, thousands of years ago. There's no way the French built this. This is 8 miles long. It's overlooking the old remnants of the ancient Missouri River from back God knows how long ago. I had to find this myself in the topography, and every professional missed it. Now, guess what was built here? See this big thing right here? This is nuclear radioactive stockpile from the Manhattan Project that was here. The Manhattan Project just so happened to build their nuclear processing facility for World War II here at Defiance, Missouri, which is right here along this river right here, and at the StarForts.